Okay, so Jennifer Aniston just went Instagram official with someone, and honestly, the internet is losing its mind right now. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. The clues were literally right in front of us for months, and we completely missed them. So let me break this down, because this story has layers you wouldn't believe. On November 2nd, Jen posted this absolutely adorable photo with Jim Curtis, and the caption just said, "Happy birthday, my love cherished." And I'm sitting here thinking, wait a second, my love? That's not exactly subtle, right? But what really gets me is how calculated this whole reveal actually was when you look at the timeline. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another celebrity romance story, stick with me because the way this relationship unfolded is actually fascinating from a Hollywood PR perspective, and there's a twist coming that changes everything we thought we knew about how Jen handles her personal life these days. Here's where it gets interesting. They've been linked for several months, but neither of them said a single word publicly until this birthday post, which is wild because in today's world where every celebrity relationship gets dissected within seconds, they managed to keep this under wraps while also dropping breadcrumbs everywhere. I mean, think about it. Jim was spotted at the morning show premiere in September, which, by the way, is a huge deal because that's Jen's territory, her show, her spotlight, and she brought him into that space. But wait, there's more to this premiere appearance that nobody caught at the time, and it completely changes how we should have been reading the situation. The fact that he was there wasn't just some casual +1 situation. This was Jen making a statement without actually making a statement. And honestly, that's pretty genius when you consider how much scrutiny she's been under for literally decades about her dating life. Now, let me take you back to where this apparently all started, 4th of July weekend, and they were photographed together in Spain. But here's the kicker. They weren't alone. Jason Bateman and his wife Amanda were there too. And if you know anything about Jen's inner circle, Jason is one of her closest friends and has been for years. So bringing Jim into that dynamic tells you something significant about how serious this was getting even back then. I've watched Hollywood relationships for years now, and trust me, when you're introducing someone to your tight inner circle during an international vacation, that's not a casual fling. That's someone you're actually investing in. But wait, this Spain trip is only the beginning of this breadcrumb trail they left us for. Fast forward to the following month, August, presumably, and the four of them, Jen, Jim, Jason, and Amanda, had dinner together in New York City. Now, at this point, you'd think someone would have connected the dots, but somehow the media just wasn't paying attention, or maybe they were respecting Jen's privacy for once, which would be refreshing, honestly. Then comes the really telling moment. Jim joined Jen at the launch event for her hair care brand LolaVie's new dry shampoo in Los Angeles. Let me pause here because this is actually huge. LolaVie is Jen's baby. This is her business venture, her brand, and she's bringing him to the launch event. That's not just showing up to a movie premiere, that's integrating someone into your professional life and your business world. And in Hollywood, that distinction matters more than people realize. But here's where the story takes a turn that I find genuinely interesting. Jen wasn't just receiving support from Jim, she was actively supporting him too. And this is what makes their dynamic different from what we've seen before. Back in May, months before any of us were really paying attention to them as a couple, Jen promoted his book on her platform. The book is called Shift, Quantum Manifestation Guide, and it's described as a workbook for coding a new consciousness. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's not typically the kind of thing you'd expect to see promoted by someone of Jen's caliber, unless there was something real there, unless she genuinely believed in what he was doing. And this is where I think we see a different side of Jen, someone who's not just in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship, but who's actually aligned with someone on a deeper level about interests and beliefs and personal growth. Speaking of personal growth, there's this really fascinating detail that connects to Jim's work that I need to tell you about because it reveals something about Jen that's honestly pretty relatable. In an interview with Travel and Leisure back in April, Jen opened up about having an extreme fear of flying. She described this whole ritual she would do, tapping the plane with her right hand and stepping on board with her right foot for good luck. And I'm thinking, okay, that sounds exactly like something I would do, honestly. But then she drops this bomb. She says because she's been doing hypnosis lately, and one of the requirements was to remove all those superstitions. Now connect the dots here. Jim's whole thing is about quantum manifestation and consciousness work. Jen suddenly starts doing hypnosis work around the same time frame. They're getting close. And she's actively working on overcoming deep-seated fears. That's not coincidental. That's someone being influenced by their partner in a genuinely positive way. What I find really refreshing about this whole situation is how different it feels from Jen's previous public relationships. There's no tabloid drama, no constant speculation, no leaked sources saying things are rocky or whatever. Instead, we got months of quiet integration, supporting each other's work, blending friend groups, and then one simple Instagram post that just confirmed what was already pretty obvious if you were paying attention. And honestly, I think that's a testament to Jen learning from decades in the spotlight and finally figuring out how to protect something precious while still sharing parts of her life with fans who genuinely care about her happiness. The evolution of how she handles relationships publicly is actually kind of beautiful when you think about it. Now, let's talk about Jim Curtis for a second, because who is this guy that captured Jennifer Aniston's heart? From what we can gather, he's deeply into consciousness work, manifestation, quantum theory applications to personal development, and he's written this book that's apparently resonating with people, including Jen. He's not an actor, he's not trying to ride her coattails into fame, he's got his own lane and his own mission. And maybe that's exactly what Jen needed, someone who's not competing in her world but complementing it with something entirely different. There's something to be said for relationships where both people bring completely different strengths and perspectives to the table, rather than being in the same industry constantly comparing and competing. The timing of this reveal is also worth noting because it came on his birthday, which adds this personal, intimate touch to what could have been just another celebrity announcement. By making it about celebrating him rather than just announcing their relationship status, Jen kind of flipped the script on how these things usually go. Usually it's all about the couple, the relationship, the status, but this was about honoring someone on their special day and almost incidentally confirming what everyone was already wondering about. That's a subtle but meaningful difference in my opinion, and it shows a level of thoughtfulness that you don't always see in how celebrities navigate these moments. Looking at the bigger picture here, what strikes me most is how Jen's approach to relationships and public life seems to have matured into something really healthy. She's not hiding away completely, but she's also not feeding the tabloid machine. She's living her life, supporting someone she cares about, letting that person into her world gradually and meaningfully, and then when she's ready, she shares a small piece of that happiness with the world on her own terms. After everything she's been through with media scrutiny about her personal life over the years, seeing her navigate this with such grace and confidence is honestly inspiring. It shows that you can be one of the biggest stars on the planet and still maintain boundaries while being authentic. So, where does this leave us? Well, Jen and Jim are officially official. The internet is happy for her because, let's be real, most people just want to see her happy after rooting for her through decades of ups and downs. And maybe we're entering a new chapter where Jen gets to experience a relationship that's built on genuine connection rather than Hollywood superficiality. I'm actually optimistic about this one, based on everything we've seen. The slow burn, the mutual support, the integration of lives rather than just a flash of paparazzi photos. It all suggests something with real substance. And honestly, after watching Jen's journey for so long, seeing her find someone who seems to bring growth and peace into her life rather than drama and chaos, that's the kind of ending, or maybe beginning, that feels right. Time will tell, of course, because Hollywood relationships are unpredictable by nature, but I've got a good feeling about this one, and I think a lot of you probably do too.